Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Mahalo Halo Las Vegas and then some. I'm your host, Toni Rose. My girl, Leps, is not here. She's recovering. We wish you speedy recovery, girl, because we miss you. Hopefully, you'll be here next week and recording another episode with us. But today, we invited a beautiful guest. Today's topic is Beauty and the Boss. Okay, I titled it Beauty and the Boss for a reason because we, as you know, want to promote local businesses, local services, and just really uplift also the women-run businesses, right? Women-owned. I am an advocate for, small business and, really making your dreams come true and allowing yourself to, be challenged and be uncomfortable. So today we have Chelsea from the Beauty Lab 702. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Hi. So, beauty is... I think a necessity in this world, right? It's your first, interaction, your first impressions of people. Not necessarily makeup, not necessarily like aesthetics, but just your energy, the things that you bring out. So as far as your business, how did you get started? Why the beauty industry and how long? Just give me your story. I want to learn about you and how we can support you.
Wow. Okay, so it's been a long process. I mean, it started out when I was actually in Hawaii because I'm from Hawaii. So I got into the industry back in 2006, 2007.
Okay.
Did some work out there, and then I came out here to Vegas. So nice. 2011, I was here. Unfortunately, I didn't continue the beauty service until a lot later, which is like 2016, 17. Okay. But I got caught in the whole Vegas life, and it was overwhelming. And so I'm like, I think I just need to start my own and get back into like my passion, which is the beauty industry. And that's when I started the Beauty Lab.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Beauty Lab, did that start from your home or were you renting space? Because I know a lot of beauticians or hairdressers and stuff like that, they rent a space from an actual parlor or place, right? So how did you get your start?
It's actually a really crazy story. So I was out of the game for a long time, and I decided to just go all in. So I actually sold my house to open up my own first salon.
What?
So I didn't go into renting. I didn't go work for somebody.
Wow.
I took a chance, sold my house, took that money, and opened up my own beauty salon.
Well, as a realtor and as an investor, that is a big deal because that is... that's your asset.
Yes.
And you've earned, maybe some equity on that. Not even take out money. You said, I'm going to put it all in.
I did.
All chips in, right? Okay,
yes.
So then?
So I opened up my business. I was able to, with the equity, buy another home, something smaller, downsize, and run the business at the same time. And so that just took off from there. I mean, I did whatever I could. I was at first the only person in the salon at one point. I worked long hours, I was there 24/7, and then I had my two small children.
At the time, how old were they?
I believe 4 and 5.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 4 and 5. And then a year into it, I had like 1 or 2 more people kind of trickle in and kind of work with alongside me.
Nice.
And then I found out I was pregnant again. So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
But the business grew. I mean, I was there. I was present. I was putting in the work,
I love those stories because, as business owners, people often think like, oh, she made it big. They see the outcome already.
Yeah.
And so they see the glam, they see the amazing lifestyle or the things that you can do on your time because you're able to, manifest those things into reality, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. And the fact that you took the chance
on myself
with children, small children.
Yeah.
Not everybody can even take that chance as a single person because they're afraid of, the risk, the doubt in themselves and what. So how did you get that, that inner voice? What was that moment where you were like, I'm doing this?
I think because I've been in the hospitality industry when I got here and just working those long hours, I wasn't present for my children. And that was kind of like, I don't want to be that mother that isn't there to pick up my kids from school, drop them off, whatever it is. Important. And so I thought that, like, okay, if I do my business, I can make my own hours and do all of, what I'm doing now and still be present for my children, and which my schedule is based on my kids.
Yeah.
So I only work when they're in school and when they're out of school. And then, still I'm able to come home, cook dinner, still do all the motherly things base my schedule around them, So that's where it goes from there.
That's, oftentimes we as women, we don't give ourselves enough credit because as we progress in life, I think I'm in a stage where I'm able to really compartmentalize a lot of the things that I have to do, right?
Yeah.
Parenting, lifestyle or whatever, work, travel, family, extended family, stuff like that, where as we get older, it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I was capable of these things until you switch, turn that switch on, right? So what about your kids now? They go to school. How do they see mom as an entrepreneur? Do they understand that you work for yourself, or do they ask questions? How do you interact with their, inquisitiveness, I guess?
Yeah, well, I mean, now that they're getting older and they're understanding more, they're like, yeah, my mom has a beauty salon, and they talk about it with other people at school. And then when I pick them up from school, I'm like, are you going to be home today? Are you going to work? And I'm like, oh, today I'm going to work, but tomorrow I'll be home with you guys after school, so we can do whatever it is. But yeah, they're very aware. They know. They come to the salon, and when they come in, they'll pick up a broom, and they're automatically just, helping out with whatever I need done at the salon. That. So
it's automatic, sweat equity for you, for them. Because they know if you're not working, you don't have clients, or you're not keeping up the space, they're not going to eat, or they're not going to get the things that they ask for. All right. So what about the kids? Do they want to aspire to be entrepreneurs? Are you teaching them that way, or are you more whatever?
I want to say that I'm not one to push what I do onto them.
Right.
I kind of let them be who they are. So their freedom. I think my daughter is taking that interest in the beauty industry. I mean, she's a girl, so of course, nails, hair, everything. But she's taking a liking into that. Okay. My son, he's a free spirit, and my youngest, he's autistic. So he's just whatever goes.
Go with the flow. Yeah. So your daughter's the oldest?
No. My son, your daughter, son. And then my youngest.
Okay, so speaking about your daughter, so she sees the beauty. How do you feel about beauty now from when you first started your business? Because it's evolved with social media and everything. So tell me, as a parent, how do you feel about, everything that's on there, right?
So with my daughter, I actually don't want her thinking that having beautiful eyebrows, lashes, and hair, it's the beauty standard, getting things done.
Right.
So I really don't allow her to wear a lot of makeup. I don't allow her to, do the hair, the nails, everything. She's only 11, and I don't want her thinking the beauty standard that you have to have your hair, you have to have your nails. And so for her, it's more of understanding the skin, taking care of your skin, just your appearance wise, as far as keeping it natural, just that. And so it's really hard because she sees mommy like this, and then I don't allow her to have makeup and all of that. So
not yet, at least.
It's hard.
Yeah. So do you does she ever go on social media, or does she see stuff online where she's like, oh mom, I want to do this or I want to do that, or you kind of just censor that so that she's not exposed to too much of the beauty standards now?
I actually allow her to watch all those videos and whatnot, but I do have conversations with her, and I talk to her that, when you get older, I will allow you to have, but it's not going to come right away. It's in stages, when I feel that you're matured enough to understand the meaning behind each of the services that I even offer,
Well, it goes to show, social media is just a quick fix. Everyone's like, oh, I want to learn it, go on a tutorial and learn this and that. But I'm like, it takes work to put on a face every day, and then also the care for your skin. So there's steps, right? But as a beautician and as a professional in the beauty industry, how do you see women when they come in and see you? It's like, are they harder on themselves before they see you? are they critiquing themselves and they're like, oh, I want this done, I want this done? Or are you more like, no, you're beautiful, let's just enhance it?
When they come in, yes, they're very hard on themselves. And so I explain to them, it's baby steps, like you're new to this. It doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
So let's start off something simple. Let's start off with this. And, as we go through our appointments, we'll introduce something else that you were looking into doing. But sometimes you just don't go all in.
Right. No, because I think about it because my mom, she's 70 plus and she looks amazing. Like she just has, the Asian gene, right? But I remember from a young age, she'll be like, oh, you have to massage your skin up and make sure you moisturize. You have the SPF. I mean, we started using SPF here. I don't think we even used SPF in the Philippines, right? So
not even in Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
Like when I was younger.
But no, it was such a thing for her. Like she was always telling me to take care of my skin, and I was such a I'm still like very much a tomboy, so I'm like, well, if I moisturize, I feel like I completed something. And I do take care of my skin, but I feel like there are those necessary steps to prevent the aging process, or that that next level of lack of, I guess, what is it
aging.
Yeah. Well, wrinkles and stuff like that. And then especially living here too in Las Vegas, there's a lot of very attractive people. People like the lifestyle. So there's pressure, and so I feel like business. How's business now compared to when you started?
It's different because when I first started, I didn't even know about lash extensions. I didn't know about all these beauty services. And
I'm still like, oh my God, they can implant hair on your eyebrows. I'm like, hook me up.
I'm still learning to this day. Every day, it's like there's always a new beauty service that's out. And moving here to Las Vegas was definitely like, wow, there's so much more that I didn't have in my grasp. And now it's like, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to take this course, I want to take this class. And so it's keeping up the trend. The trend is always changing, but at the same time, it'll end up going back to the old, so it's ever evolving. It's always changing.
I'm always like, when I'm scrolling, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's the magnetic lashes, which is awesome. And I'm like, oh my God. Before it was like the lash glue. So I was like, I'm never going to do that. I did it for my wedding, literally right before I went to walk down the aisle. It started flopping. And then I just looked cross-eyed. So I was like,
screw this, like just rip it off.
And so I didn't have lashes. I put mascara, but it was still like, I'm fine. I'm not going to, put too much pressure. But it took that moment, I was like, this is why I don't deal with the glue. But then I saw the magnetic lashes. I was like, people are so innovative, like it's really fun to watch.
The things they come up with, right?
So how can we find you? What services do you offer? So talk about, kind of what you offer, where we can find you, and your hours, I guess, if people want to book.
Okay, so on Instagram, you can definitely find us, The Beauty Lab 702. We are located in North Las Vegas on North 5th and Centennial.
Nice.
As far as operating hours, I think we're a little bit unique as far as how we operate. We are by appointments only.
Nice.
So the backstory with that is that I wanted to create a sense of the people that work with me, they customize their hours because they're mothers too. And so it is by appointments only, which you can go onto our website, which is www.thebeautylab702, and you can book your appointments. You can find all of our availability with all of the artists. We offer a lot of services, so it's a broad range. We do hair. We do lash extensions, lash lifts and tints.
I'm gonna come in.
Full body waxing. We do skincare. We offer a lot of services, and the list of everything that we do is there, even permanent makeup. So,
nice. How about men? Do you find men coming in now? I'm sure you're more female-based clientele, but do you have any male coming in?
I do. We do, actually. You'll be surprised at actually how many men come in for services.
Right.
Men come in for full body waxing. So they come in and they're maintaining themselves too.
Okay. Full body?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, full body.
Painful.
They come in obviously to get their hair cut, and they're coming in for skincare as well.
Right.
You'll be surprised at how many men actually care about their physical,
of course,
or their their face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So haircut, facials, body waxing. Oh my gosh.
Men come in for even pedicures. So,
yeah. I think that one is like that one is kind of like a trend now.
Yes.
I shouldn't be a trend. It should be a must.
Yeah.
Like, go get your feet done.
Yeah.
What about the beauty life back in Hawaii compared to here? Like, so when you were there, you were in the beauty in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then you came here hospitality. But how do you see the difference? Have you been back since, or?
I have been back. They're a little bit, it's weird to say that they're behind on some services. You know, like I said, I didn't learn. I mean, lash extensions have been around, but it wasn't a thing back then. And so, and it just started catching up maybe a few years back, and now it's like permanent makeup, and like we do not just eyebrows, but there's eyeliner, there's even lips. We tattoo lips as well. So there's and that is now getting introduced there, so they're catching up slowly but surely. They are.
Well, it's island life, so when the humidity, I love the humidity because it's so good for your skin, but it's like, okay, well, what do where do you need to go? Like if there's not a party or something, it's like very natural, very bare minimum. And then here it's the heat.
Yeah.
So it's just dry.
It's I was just there not too long ago in January, and I can't believe how much Hawaii has changed. Right. I mean, I'm from Oahu, so the side that I'm from is from Kapolei, and like I can't believe how much that place has grown since I've last been back. And there's a lot of actually beauties spots there, and I'm like,
sure.
Wow, okay, like look at this, like I'm surprised,
Oh my gosh, isn't that interesting? You're like simple life to glam, and then you go back, you're like, oh, it's like Philippines. I feel like if I haven't been back to the Philippines, I'll be going this year. And I feel like the only culture shock would be because, obviously it's Philippines, see my people. But I think they're pretty caught up with technology and
I haven't been to the Philippines since 2017, 18. But you can still get services there too. Like I was pretty surprised at like the hair, what they do back there too. And I was just like, wow, okay,
right? Yeah. I remember my parents went back, and then they're like, "Oh, we got a pedicure, a massage, haircut, everything. We're like under, $25 or whatever." I'm like,
I was surprised. I was like,
I need to move.
I was like, right? Like, I'm like, I need to go back here. Like,
cool. So, what's your next steps? Like, how do you see your business growing? Are you gonna maybe open up another location? I know there's one of you and maybe a couple of, your people, but how do you see your business evolving in the next maybe year?
In the next year, I'm still just trying to figure it out. I mean, as much as I would like to open up a second location, it's a lot of work. I manage right now about 10 to 12 employees under me, and just that alone wears me out.
That's awesome,
but I think I do want to transition into opening up another salon, but maybe rental style instead of managing and, having them under me. So
it's harder too, because as a business owner and you have your employees, you forget that, the craft is what you loved first.
Yes.
And then you start doing the managing and obviously the admin and the paperwork.
Yes.
And all of that, and it becomes a full-time job. So then do you ever get tired of doing that part, and then you're like, oh my god, I don't want to see a client today, I have to take care of this, and that's real life, because as entrepreneurs, when you first start, you're your own everything. I mean, I know, because I'm my own boss technically, but like I have a boss inside my heart that I have to tell myself to go do it.
Yes.
Because if I don't tell myself, I'm just like,
it doesn't get done
today.
Yeah.
So it really takes that that fortitude to like really get the job done. So do you have like help that does your front desk, or
I'm pretty much everything.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I am the person that cleans the salon morning and night. I am the person that does the books, the inventory, the everything. Yeah. I think around my 5th or 6th year of, operating, I was getting burnt out. And just now, recently, I let go. So meaning I let go and I'm asking for help. So now I do have somebody who's helping me with social media, that's helping me with management. And sometimes, it is my baby. So like I want to be there for everything.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't do everything. You are going to need somebody alongside you to help you with the little things. Yeah.
And the title of the show or today's segment is Beauty and the Boss. Like when you have to boss up, like you really have to just click and get in there and get it done. But yeah, it's oftentimes us women, we don't seek the help that we absolutely need, right?
Yep.
Whether we're like, I'll do it later. I'll get it done my way. But in order to scale your business, in order to really grow, you need a team.
Yes, you do need a team. And I am learning that. And for me to grow, and now that I do have people, it is easier to do other things and to see where else you can, go into.
And then frees up your time so you can spend time with the babies.
Yes.
And do you find that now that your business is where it's at, because you're at your 5th year mark?
Actually, going into my 7th year.
7th year.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good
I
for
know.
you.
I don't know. I don't know how I've been doing it.
No, one day at a time.
Yeah.
Right?
One day at a time for sure.
Every business is going to have its, how did you overcome the 2020, like the pandemics? Did you do a lot of house calls?
Unfortunately, we could not. We definitely could not.
Right.
I had to really bite the dust on that one. And I'm still trying to recover from it because a lot of people were able to do work. Unfortunately, the beauty industry couldn't. We weren't allowed to do so for that time.
That must have been so tough.
It was very, very tough.
It's not essential, but you're like, no, it is essential.
But it is essential. Do you know how many people were trying to get? I'm like,
there's a lot of men walking around with hair everywhere.
Like, I don't want to lose my license, so unfortunately, I can't do house calls. So it was hard. It was really hard.
So how did you pivot with that? Like, what did you do? Did you have a contingency?
So, with selling my home, I was smart enough to make sure that I put away enough money, and it actually helped me get through that whole pandemic.
Smart.
Yeah. And that really did help me. But there were things that the state and the government were offering to small businesses. And so I took advantage of that,
Of course.
Even though I had the money.
As you should, yeah.
But it's okay to ask for help or to receive help. So,
yeah. I think a lot of, what the conversation around that COVID or the pandemic was, a lot of people did come out of their comfortability and they were just like, oh my God, what do we do now?
It's survival mode. Yeah.
So I definitely grew during that time. It was make it or break it, you know, and that's when our business started with real estate, because we're like, well, we have property. Let's think outside the box. Instead of holding on to it, we sold it, took the profits, and reinvested it. So then now it's an ever-flowing, asset and passive income. So there's a lot of ways of really pushing yourself during that struggle.
I think a lot of people really found themselves during that time.
That was a blessing.
Yeah.
So when people complain, I'm like,
no, I really pushed myself that time. Yeah.
I will tell a story, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm Filipina from third world country here. We could all do it.
Yeah.
But, it really is to be your own boss and to want that financial freedom and time. You really make those decisions based on your why. Yeah. Which is your children and freedom, right? Freedom of time.
Yep.
All right. Well, are there any other entrepreneurial goals you want to take on besides beauty, or no. Do you have free time? What do you do on your free time?
On my free time, as far as when the kids aren't in school, we're outdoor people. Yeah. We like to go camping. We like to be by the water. We like, so we do a lot of that.
Get grounded.
Yeah, we get grounded, and that's important. Yeah. Finding balance to ground yourself so that you can come back to work feeling like you can do it again,
reset.
Yeah.
Especially with kids, it's hard.
It's hard.
I'm commending you because, one, you have to be creative. And then what if you're not in the mood to do your service because you're exhausted or whatever, you just got to, pick yourself up.
I create this relationship with a lot of my clients, and so they've been with me, a lot of them since the beginning. And so there are times where I'm like, I'm supposed to show up to work,
Right.
but it's that relationship that I've created over time where it's like, hey, today is not a good day. Is it possibly I can reschedule you? And they're
Nice.
totally understanding.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised at how,
Yeah.
very understanding when you create that good relationship with your clients. And so
Yeah.
when there's a time that I need to take a moment for myself, I definitely am doing it now.
That's nice, yeah. Because then you have that human side. You're like, I'm not just a business. I'm also a functioning human being.
Yes,
And I have feelings.
I have feelings. And,
And
we get
today's
burnt
the
out.
day.
Yep, today's the day. I'm not there. Sorry.
Right,
Would you
right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've met a tremendous amount of women that are just doing their thing and really pushing themselves to do what they want and to do what they love and with a purpose. Not just like, oh, I'm going to take a chance. It's like, no, really work on that craft, whatever it is that you're servicing with people, build that relationship with your clients, and your business will be blessed. I mean, 7 years, that's not many salons or not many, beauty services last that long unless you're a corporate run,
Yes.
So because you're private, it's a little bit more personal. It's not like a factory. I've been through like the massage places, where it's like, oh, it's more of a factory. You don't know who you're going to get.
Each time,
Yeah, but with you, it's like, oh, how's the kids? Are they growing?
It definitely is. And the people that, like, a lot of the women that started with me, they're off on their own. They're doing their own ventures. And that's what I wanted. I created that business so that the women could still have their own life. And now that they've created what they have with me, they went off on their own. And I'm happy for them.
Yes.
Some people are like a little upset, like, oh, you took this. No, I'm right there cheering you on, know. So I have a few girls who went off and ventured, and they're doing their thing now. And I'm watching from...
You're the biggest fan.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
hey,
like, you came from me.
Right.
Now you're doing it too,
proud,
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the conversation we've had in this room is really cheering people on. And I'm a firm believer is like once you become or you level up to the person you looked up to, then you finally got to the goal that, that feeling of like, oh, I can do it. And when you're there, you're like, it's okay. It's not competition. It's really just understanding and learning from them too. So did you have any, I guess, people that you looked up to or mentors that helped you out in the beginning, or did you just kind of, go in it?
Well, I didn't have that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucked, Yeah. And I think that's where it kind of started, was that I didn't have anybody to look up to, and so I wanted to help other women along the way. And so being there for them and telling them how I did it and let me share, my experiences, and that's how they were able to get to where they are too.
Yeah. I love that about you, and I think it's our first time really having a conversation, and you really understand the importance of support, whether you're a stranger, because oftentimes your biggest fan is a stranger. It's somebody you met and they love what you do and they see what you've done and they become a fan and a friend. And sometimes your own circle is like, oh yeah, okay, do your business. Good luck with that. We'll see you when you're successful or whatever. And that's true, when you're taking chances on yourself. And oftentimes you're like, do I do this alone?
What am I doing?
So I commend you. So once again, it's the Beauty Lab 702. And check her out on Instagram. Let's see, what is coming up? Valentine's Day. Do you have any specials that you're running, or
I'm supposed to be working on that today.
Yay, glad I brought it up.
I have to work on those. I have to get it out so that the women, because they're calling and seeing what we have for this month, and I will be working on that today actually and getting it out by tonight.
Not only is she your professional, she's also the marketing team and social media. Don't you love that? You're like, all right, well, what hat do I have on today? I love that. Any secrets, any tips for women these days with the cold weather? Just give us some fun tips that you do. I know that your last post, you were taking care of your skin.
My skin, yes.
Was it a laser?
No,
what is that? Tell us about it.
It's like radio frequency photon. It's basically using light therapy to help with blemishes and tightening of the skin, things like that. And so, because Vegas is such a dry climate, and so moisturizer, you know, lots of moisturizer, even just the additives that you put on your face, that light will help what you use in your face and penetrate. So, so I'm trying to. I can't stop aging, but I can slow it down.
Yeah, you can prevent certain things from happening too soon, too quickly. And you're gorgeous, I'm sure, without makeup. And today I was doing the bare look, and I'm like, maybe I'll come in for some services, girl. No, I'm really excited to have you on the show. You know, we want to keep promoting you, and hopefully you can come back and maybe bring some girls that you've mentored, and we can talk about their experience in in their line of work now. So, I'm really happy that you came today.
No, thank you. I was really surprised, and I was like, oh, this is new. So let's try it out.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to say goodbye today. It's going to be a shorter segment because we have to get to our babies.
Yeah, we have to get to our kids.
Now we got to be moms. So I appreciate your time. You guys are watching Mahalo Halo Las Vegas and then some. I'm your host, Toni Rose, here with Chelsea from the Beauty Lab 702. Be kind, guys. We'll see you soon.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.